to welcome you all. Thank you for coming, and I'd like to call the meeting of the regular Richmond County meeting to order. It is Wednesday, September 10th at 7 p.m. Would everyone please stand and join me in the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Sure. Chuck Craven.
Here.
Debbie Lafontaine. Here. Cindy Greenman.
Here.
Chris Crickle. Here. And Bert Coleman.
Here.
Presentation of agenda. Are there any amendments or changes to be made to the agenda? Hearing none, motion would be in order to approve the agenda as presented.
I can make that motion.
Is there support?
Support.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion is carried. Public comment. This is for public comment on agenda items only. At the first part, we will have open public comment at the end of the meeting. It is said for quite a while that our public comment is limited to 3 minutes. I would like to ask whoever would like to come and speak to please come up to the podium and state your name and address.
Evening, everyone. Just an update on taxes, where we stand. I know every year we kind of get asked, how are we doing on taxes? Well, we have 4 days left. And now these are round numbers, so bear with me. The summer we collect about $5,800,000. That's without deferments. So the deferments come off of that. Right now we're at 2.9 million. That's not good. We're at about half. So I'm guessing the next 4 days will be really busy, probably really cranky by Tuesday. But I'm a little concerned on why it's so slow this year. I even had the people at the bank ask me, does it seem slow to you? Because they're not seeing the number of people at the bank that they normally do. So it's a little concerning. I don't know what's driving that, but hopefully we'll get the money. We haven't gotten our mortgage checks from the bank yet. That'll be a big number, but not that much. It's not going to make up the difference. So in case anybody's wondering, I think that's where we stand right now.
Thanks. Anyone else? No one else on the agenda items only? Okay. Hearing nothing, we will go ahead and move along to the approval of minutes. In front of us, we have 2 sets of minutes, one for the regular meeting of August 13th, 2025, and one for the special meeting of August 25th, 2025. We can approve these together in a joint motion, or if you'd like to do one at a time. A motion will be in order to approve the minutes.
Also make that motion.
For both or one?
Both.
Is there support?
Support.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The motion is carried. Next, we have the consent agenda. For the consent agenda, we have the building department report, EMS report, office administrator report, planning commission report, and this evening on the table we do have the NAMC minutes. A motion would be in order to approve the consent agenda either as presented, or if you'd like to take something off, you can indicate so in your motion.
I make the motion to approve as presented.
Is there support?
I'll support.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion is carried. Next on the agenda, we have the financial reports. We have the approval of bills. Kathy has presented everyone with a list of the bills paid for this month. Are there any questions for Kathy? Okay. All right. Seeing none, a motion would be in order to approve and pay the bills as presented.
I'll make that motion.
Is there support?
Support.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion is carried. Next, we have the treasurer's report. Chris?
In the general fund, we have $837,003.70. In the tax disbursement account, we have $263,607.35. The recreational fund, we have $463,748.25. The investment accounts, we have $1,261,949.45. The PDR account, we have $25,963.64. And the other accounts is $10,706.52 with a grand total of $2,862,978.91.
Does anyone have any questions for the treasurer? Hearing none, the treasurer's report will stand as presented. The next item we have is farmland preservation.
Yes, working on the conservation easement for the Coleman property. The paperwork is at the title company. Baseline report has been turned into the state. The conservation easement draft has been sent to the state and also to our lawyer. And this all seems to be coming together. Once we get all this from the title company kind of takes over, sets up everything for it.
Awesome. Any questions for Vern? Building report? Jeff, do you have anything on the building report?
No, ma'am, I have nothing that.
Okay, thank you. The assessors report, Chris did turn in a pretty brief report. There have been, as I forwarded an email, there are people going out house to house. She just wanted to let us know in case anyone called asking what they were doing. Anyone have any questions for me to take back to Chris? I'd be happy to do so. All right. Hearing none, we're going to go to the library report.
I have some updates for the library. The Let's Sit and Storytime programs start next week. And the September 27th puzzle sale is coming up. They'll have about 700 to 800 puzzles for sale from $2 to $7 each. In September, there's also a craft night on the 30th. And they're making a fall book face at 6 p.m. And you can also see a sample of that at the library. They're collecting book donations for the book sale that's coming up on October 16th to the 18th. And then a Halloween book opening as well on the 21st. There'll probably be a sample of that too, but I'll update you in October. They have a library book club that meets last Wednesday of each month, and they have Mitch Album's, they're going to read Mitch Album's new book, and he actually donated 20 advanced copies that's not even released yet to the library. And so if anybody's interested in reading that book, you can get a copy of that at the circulation desk. And that completes the library report.
Okay. Now we'll move on to the NELC report.
All right, well, you have, you said a copy of the minutes from the report, or from our meeting, right?
Yep, they're on the table in front of us. Yep.
Right, so, and I'm not quite sure exactly if it was stated in your minutes, but I think it may have been, but our next check that we get, or that the Richmond Township gets for the PEG fees, and then that'll bring Richmond up to date. So no X's on that.
That's pretty awesome.
Oh, one more.
They're gonna come in from 24, that old one. I got a confirmation it's on the
Okay.
desk. I'll give it to you to take to Joe.
And she's going to push it up so that it makes it all clear, right?
Right.
Right. Okay. Excellent. That's the report for now. Nothing else.
Okay, thank you. Any questions? All right, hearing none, we are on to the Recreation Advisory Board report. So this Saturday will be our third annual kite event. It starts at 12 and goes till 3. We will have the Kona ice truck here for an hour. There will be popcorn and cotton candy this year, as well as other snacks and water and apple juice, and those are all free to everyone that comes. We have about 150 kites that people can decorate, or they can bring their own, and we do have the windjammers. They have some really awesome kites, and they do an exhibition for us for 4 hours that day, so it's pretty cool. The Halloween activity day is on October 18th from 12 to 2, and we are getting prepared for that and purchasing all of our stuff for activities. That was a big hit last year. And the Christmas event was changed to the 16th of December. And that's all I have for the Recreation Advisory Board. Under unfinished business, we have nothing. cleanup day from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. on October 4th. I spoke with Mr. Russ, and he was kind enough to agree to let us use the site that we've been using for, I don't know how long it's been, Kathy, I guess it's been a while.
At least 5
Yeah,
years.
it's been a while. I did talk to Ben at Priority Waste, and he assured me that we would have the 3 regular roll-offs and the 3 tire roll-offs there as are agreed to in our contract. We're still discussing what time to get there, so I'm going to reach out to Randy and see if they can bring the night before a couple of them. I did ask Vern at one point about whether or not his nephews might be able to help him.
I'll get it find out.
Okay. And then I will go ahead and bring some notes and stuff like that for us in the morning. But other than that, I think we're pretty much set. Does anyone have any comments on that? Okay, very well. Next, we're going to go to the reappointment of Harold Cummings. Mr. Cummings' planning commission term is up on the 14th of September. I spoke to him and he graciously agreed to extend his term for 3 years. I'm looking for a motion to reappoint Harold Cummings to the Richmond Township Planning Commission with a term end date of September 15th, 2028.
I'll make that motion.
Is there support?
Support.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion is carried. Next item on the agenda we have is discussion on the Macomb County rain gauge. Don Brown reached out. As you can see, I did include the map. They're having 9 rain gauges throughout the county, 9 new ones, and they'd like to put one here at Township Hall. The only expense we would incur is, he said, if we wouldn't mind letting them hook up to the electricity rather than having them run a whole line and disturb something. So I have no problem. He said it's a very minimal amount of electricity. So I guess I'm just looking for a motion to approve Macomb County placing the rain gauge there and allow them to hook up to our electricity, unless you'd like to make a different motion.
I'll make that motion and welcome that.
Is there support?
I'll support it.
Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Next item on the agenda is the discussion of garbage pickup. We have a school section, and since I put this on the agenda, I've gotten a couple of complaints from Pratt Road. It appears as though Priority Waste is having a continuing issue with school section in particular. I feel like it has been every week they either just totally miss them or they come 3 days late or something of that matter. And we were asked to put this on the agenda. Is someone in the audience here regarding that? So what I did from regarding the missing of the...
We're like the forgotten children down at the other end of the table.
So if you would, please get out, state your name and address, and then just kind of tell us about your frustration and what's been going on, if you wouldn't mind.
I think Kathy's already brought it to the board, but Don Smith, I live down at the west end of the school section. Probably this year, there's been at least 6 or 7 times that they didn't pick up on Thursday. A couple times they didn't pick up at all on Friday, and then I'm calling Kathy. Kathy, what's going on?
There's two
Yeah.
days. So you're coming to
Responding to Heaven Road, do you have any
But
here?
they would both be.
I know. But anyway, they did pick up, what did they pick up? They did pick up last week, but it was on Friday. So they picked up or something. But I don't know if you guys can do anything.
We're on Weber Road and we're experiencing this.
All right.
They've missed a couple times. You just don't know for sure what time they're coming and what day. I'd like to make a motion, and my motion is that we put the company on notice that we feel they're in violation of the contract and ask that they give us a written correction plan at their earliest convenience.
Thank you.
Is there support for that motion?
Or,
Is there any discussion on that motion?
pardon?
Open the contract up for bids?
Well, we gotta get through this contract first.
Yeah, and we have a motion on the table, so we have to discuss that. So, and is the motion to put them on notice via the attorney?
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Okay.
But we'll send them a letter and tell them that we feel they're in violation of their contract and ask that we have to have an immediate correction plan. We need it ready for the next meeting.
Okay, and Vern, did you support that?
Yes.
And did we have any discussion? Any discussion at all? Okay, I think that's a great idea. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Nay, motion is carried. Hopefully we'll get something moving, you know, generally asking them, we'll at least let them know that we're paying attention.
It's been in the paper though, in other communities.
Yes. So the next item on the agenda is the discussion of our building and electrical inspector. Within the last couple of weeks, both our building inspector and our electrical inspector have resigned for different reasons. Generally, how we do this is the board authorizes me to go ahead and place an advertisement on our website and send it out there in constant contact. I would like approval to go ahead and do that and ask the people to submit me a letter of interest for perhaps their resume, some references if they have any, by October 2nd, and then we can have those to look at and hopefully we can decide on a new electrical inspector and building inspector at the October 8th, I think it's. So if I could have approval to do that or authority to do that, that would be great.
Then we did a motion that we post the positions available. Anyone interested to send us resumes?
Is there support?
Support.
Is there any discussion? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, the motion is carried. Last item under new business is a computer update. Clerk LaFontaine and I spoke with Tower Computer last week one day, and the long and short of it is basically we were told that we do not update our server or portions of our server. We will not be able to use our email as of the middle of October. So you will see I did include the bid Kathy and I got and the ongoing yearly cost with the new stuff will be $11.23, and then labor to not only update the server, but also 14 computers need to be updated to Office 2024, and 13 need to be updated to Windows 11. So that is $1,008. So together, I think I had the cost of let's see what we're going to do. Be 2131. That would be the total amount that we would be authorized to pay Tower Computer, or we could go the other route, which the labor on that would be updating everything, and just the labor would be $5,827.50. We talked to Ed, and who was the other guy? Was this Scott?
That's true.
And so they were pretty upfront with us, and they explained to us that we could spend more money now, but in about 2 years we will need a new server, and we would have to pay for everything again. So they actually recommended going with the lesser of the expenditures. And then we will know in our budget year, 26, 27, or 27, 28 to expect a big hit for our server. So I would need a motion to approve that expenditure, and then we can discuss if you'd like.
I think that motion.
Support, anybody?
Support.
Okay, are there any questions?
So, I'm sorry.
It's for the lower amount.
Yeah, for the lower amount, yeah.
Yep.
So they gave us a figure for 9 computers without any, is that any laptops that they're figuring out?
So Kathy actually asked him that question, and because we can VPN in, that will be updated through that. Now, he did recommend that we could still bring our laptops in. We asked him when it would be, only because I was hoping we'd approve it, but if we didn't approve it tonight, then we were going to figure out something else. But when did he tell us to be?
He said that he'd at least give us a couple of days notice, and I'll send out an email to bring your laptops in.
Yeah. So they will be updated as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Yep. Thank you. Yep. Any other questions? Vern?
Oh.
Kathy, Chuck? alternate planning commission member. Okay, and that'll help you out. What else are we looking at?
Do we have someone leave the commission to be an alternate?
No, we've never had an alternate.
Okay.
And so I think we have an alternate for every other board.
Okay.
And we were, when I talked to Harold, I was discussing it, and so we thought it might be a good idea to just get an alternate. And then perhaps we could ask them to come to a couple meetings. If there was any training, get them a zoning ordinance book and whatever. Maybe agree to pay them for 1 or 2 meetings because they will be attending. That way they will be up to speed. My thought was that whoever this person is would be sent a planning commission packet, just like when you get yours, so they could review it and that stuff, just so in case something happened and they had to come, they would be up to speed. So I know those 3 items will be on the agenda. Anything else? No? Okay. So call to the board. Vern, what do you have?
Does anybody know what's going, Detroit is putting in new lines of personal, all new power lines that have never been there before. Anybody know why they're doing it? Seems like an awful lot of expense. That's 3 phase wires that they're putting in.
We can check. I'll check. Yeah.
Other than that, no.
Chris?
No. Tom did a great job updating me on the taxes. I have nothing.
Okay. Kathy?
Next month, we'll be having our election commission meeting before the meeting, if that's okay with you guys.
Great. Perfect. Chuck, anything?
No, not this time.
Okay, I just wanted to mention a couple things, and I do know that Kathy Pace was good, and she did post on the website. We got a notice that they will be starting an M19 resurfacing project on September 20th. 1 lane will remain open with labor operation. The project will be broken into 2 phases. Phase 1, 32 miles to Big Hand, north and southbound, to be completed on the 20th, 21st, and approach work done on the 22nd. And then this will affect us even more. Phase 2, Big Hand Road to just south of Weber, to be completed on the 27th and 28th. And again, Kathy Pace did put that on, just to make sure that everybody knows that there's going to be a bit of a slowdown. And a reminder that 32-mile road is closed. I came home that way last night, and I knew that, and still came home that way yesterday. So that's about all I have for the call to the board. All right, so now we are on to general public comment. Remember, there's a 3-minute time limit. If you'd like to get up and speak about anything at this time, and just please state your name and address.
At my hospital on 19. So is there any hazardous waste collection during the October 4th?
No hazardous waste. The county does not. You have to
Sometimes we have had in the past.
way long time ago. Yep.
So, okay, I haven't been there for a while, but I do have some that I would like to get rid of. So. Can you still take it down to the county?
Yep.
Okay, thank you. My name is Patricia Swiggs. I have like 3 minutes. You could refrain from commenting till I'm done. I'll touch on some issues of why I believe the supervisor could be complicit in illegal actions within the township. Knowing the additions to a non-compliant property was illegal, as they stated in portions of Article 13, Section 13 during the August 13th ZBA meeting. Paul Stewart repeatedly stopped the property owner from discussing. He wanted a bigger building because his neighbors had one, and Stewart then redirected the conversation. Instead of denying or postponing the variance was granted even before the regular board had approved the minutes of the zoning change that was also needed to allow for the larger building. The owner asked Mr. Stewart if you remember him coming before the previous meeting the year before. There's no record of the owner at a previous planning or ZBA meeting. After the meeting ending, Stewart recommended to the owner to get it built quickly. The zoning ordinance called out changes to Section 7, Item 8, Planning Board, without advertising or notice. Changes were also made to Section 7, Item 9A, which There was no record up until I got this draft agenda yesterday, 13B2, 13C1, and 13C3. It appears you and your board approved the zoning change and then approved the minutes when the minutes did not exist. Any of you still have your packets? As a supervisor now admits after talking to a lawyer, larger accessory buildings that exceeded current code were illegally permitted to be by the building department on Spence Court for years. When the problem on Spence Court became apparent, Stephen Cassidy, the planner, assisted in changing current code to cure the problems on Spence Court, thus taking part of the cover-up, which I discussed with the supervisor. The zoning change you voted on June 11th was needed to cure the problems on Spence Court, but as it turned out, it only cures the addition on your planning board member Thomas Mackley's property, that is, except for the building on the water drainage easement. The other properties on the block are less than 1.5 acres, and no additional additions are to be permitted on non-conforming properties. So there was a cover-up, and last week the supervisor insisted Stephen Cassidy was not involved, but then threw Charlie Robert and Chad Nickel under the bus. Side note, so far I filed the names of Charlie Robert, Drew Davidson signing off on the documents as well as Bob Bobkin. Yesterday I picked up FOIA documents, and those documents help prove that staff naming Deputy Clerk Lori Stewart, who also takes the minutes for Paul Stewart, who appears to be her father-in-law, nepotism, tried to cover up the cover-up. It appears she has falsified documents. No minutes were missing, and she said she did not report the ZBA meeting as it is required by Michigan law. I'm running out of time, so if you would, I'd like to go through some of the new findings after the following conclusion, if you would like me to. Those are the falsified documents. The supervisor is well aware of the legality.
Your time is up. Your time is up.
Would you like me to continue with it and find out what the false documents are?
Your time is up.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Good evening. I'm Brian Walmsley, School Superintendent for Richmond Community Schools, and I've been with Margaret Telto and Sandy Richmond, also board members. I was here a month ago to talk about the upcoming millage on the November 4th ballot. So tonight I'm here to run a quick summary again about it to get the information out to voters. First and foremost, this millage is a no tax rate increase. We're asking voters to consider the millage to continue their July 25th tax rate for school debt going forward. This would result in a $51.8 million investment that the district would receive. As you can see by these charts, over the past decade, our enrollment has been continually growing. In the past 10 years, we have 175 more students. This year alone, we are up at least 35 students in our district. When we look at enrollment projections for the next 10 years, there's 5 methods that have been used. All 5 of them are showing increase, all estimated to be about 300 more students that are coming to Richmond Community Schools. So, the bond, if approved by the voters, would, as I said at the last meeting, would be sold in 2 series. Approximately $25 million would be sold in 2026, and the remaining bond would be sold in 2028. The first series of the bond will put an addition on the middle school. At the middle school, we currently have no classroom space left. Every classroom can utilize and expand the elementary parking lot. The series 2028 will focus on additions on our elementary school and high school. As a district, we're committed to transparency. If you have not visited our website, I encourage you to scan the QR code. Every document, everything we share with our community, all the facts and stuff is there, and encourage people to ask questions. Finally, I'll leave you with this. This bond proposal is not about adding extras to the school. It's about basic infrastructure for our current enrollment and future enrollment. It's about continuing to make our schools safe, functional, and ready spaces for our students without increasing the debt load. Thank you.
Thank you.
May I please enter these documents in the record?
When we're all done with public comment, you may.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else that would like to comment?
My name's Albert Holmes, 37925 Pound Road. I just want to ask about the cleanup day, is there something they could put on the website there to let people know exactly what they can bring, what they can't? Because we found out, later on you can't do any hazardous waste, so if they could put that up there, that
Sure
would
thing.
be helpful to the
Yep.
community here. Thank you.
Kevin Dunyo, I'm from Mesco Road. I gotta get my thoughts here. It seems like these meetings are running in the interest of time, only interested people. And this lady was presenting a very good presentation. It may not have been soft on anyone's ears, but it's necessary that we all who have taken the time here tonight hear those types of things.
Excuse me, you can have 100 minutes and I can finish.
Let's do it.
Thank you. The supervisor is well aware of the illegalities that have occurred and has two options to cure it. One, she can ask two ZBA board members to pull the permit with cause, and the board members have the right to do that. Two, because the proper procedure was not followed to pass the above-mentioned zoning ordinance written to cure Thomas Mackley's property, remember, it doesn't cure non-conforming properties, just Mackley's, then she has the right to bring the zoning ordinance back and for you to overturn it, which would then negate the permit that should not be issued. There is more that the supervisor is well aware of, and by taking no action to stop the lawlessness, I believe the prosecutor will be able to prove that she too is complicit. Please enter this document in the record, and I also have my survey for my property that I'd like to be entered in the record. You understand why. I'll go ahead and read these things that were done by Lori. This is a packet that I got yesterday, the Richmond Zoning Board of Appeals agenda. Now, after we had our discussion, Lori was in the room taking notes, you were there. There were changes that were made that seemed to comply, that she made that seemed to make this more acceptable. There was an affidavit added to the package. An affidavit must be notarized by law. The purpose of an affidavit is to supply, to notarize this is to be true. So if there is another affidavit that was notarized, I'd like to see that instead of this affidavit that is not legal. The map that she gave, you might recognize this. This has only come up into the public in the past couple days. I waited forever while somebody went into the assessor's office to find it. So this map, well, they call it a survey, it's a description of drawing, was not even available. I'll read the most important thing. No title work has been supplied by the client for purposes of the survey. Therefore, no guarantees made that any or all easements, both recorded and unrecorded, are shown on the survey. Your time is up. Anyone else want to give time?
I'll give you my time.
Thank you. All right. This, very in relation to just the description of the record, no corners have been set in the field at this time. This survey and the corresponding legal descriptions of proposed splits and subjects to municipal approval, and then the no title. Therefore, no guarantee is made that any or all easements, both recorded and unrecorded, are shown on this survey. So it should have been an elevation survey. They did this survey, which was back in 1999, and it has none of the easements on it. And one of the problems is the easement, the problem with the buildings being built in it. And they used my property, the GIS is wrong by 8 feet, that's already been confirmed, and they measured into my property to do these setbacks, and now these buildings are in the drainage section, and the section is flooding the other properties, and now they want to build this other property that the guy put his hose into my back, onto the farm field to drain his flood waters into my field and has damaged my crop. I came into the zoning board of appeals meeting to have them address the fact that there was nothing that was being done for the runoff of the rain and already the flooding in that backyard. This is an atrocity. This is just so out of control. Thank you for giving me the time.
Okay, anyone else? No other public comment?